As we gather, we are reminded that the town of Bonnyville is situated on Treaty 6 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and is the traditional homeland and home to First Nation and Métis people today. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nation, Métis, and all First People of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. Council, before us, we do have an agenda with an addition. Is that correct?
Correct, Madam Mayor. For 8B, letter of support for MD of Bonnyville.
Okay, everybody have the updated agenda. Looking for a motion then to approve. Councillor Blanchette.
I will move adoption of the agenda as amended.
All in favor? Carried. Okay. All right. So now we've got the meeting minutes from the council meeting and special council meetings from last week. I will ask that we do each one individually, please. I guess we'll go for the first one, September 9th. Are there any changes, Councillor McAvoy?
I didn't see any inaccuracies or changes necessary, so I will move adoption of the regular council meeting minutes.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Now the special council meeting minutes for September 17th. Were there any additions or changes? Councillor Johnson?
I didn't see any myself, so I would move the special meeting minutes from September 17th.
All in favor? Carried. And similarly for the special council meeting minutes, September 18th. Any changes, Councillor Sharoon?
I didn't see any changes, and so I'll move the special council meeting minutes dated September 18th.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, we've got a few delegations this evening, starting with the Bonnyville Ag Society. Welcome. Yes, thank you for coming, Corey. If you don't mind just using the microphone when you speak, I'll give you the floor to kind of talk us through it, and then we can have questions or commentary after. Emil, are you joining us?
Emil will join us. Put him in the hot seat. This year we were very successful. First with our big event with rodeo and chuck wagons, went very well. And we have just finished off our fall fair along with Indian Relay. We increased the fall fair to 2 days, so that was interesting. Worked out very well. And now we're back again in front of you requesting the same amount of money as we had the previous year, $20,000, so that we can afford to keep putting on these activities. This next year, we do have some other activities we're going to be bringing forward. We're going to be starting the Junior Ag Board this year. So we're looking at participants from the ages of probably 14 to 21. This way we can groom them into becoming board members when they're ready. That way that board doesn't become stagnant and the age group doesn't keep getting higher and higher. And this way it gives some of these, maybe the local kids in 4-H, other kids from other activities, maybe they want to join and learn how a board works, become part of another group, meet other people. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. We're also going to be talking about planning the 3 to 5 year plan of building an indoor arena. That's a big undergo that we're going to take. But to do that, we're probably going to be coming to the town looking for permanent water and sewer. That's one of the things that's holding us back right now from doing events. Our toilet rentals and septic emptying is over $30,000 a year right now. So that's a big chunk of change for us. Like just during the rodeo and chuck wagons, you're looking at almost $20,000 just to have portable toilets. Otherwise, we'd have to have a sewage truck on standby, and it would be just continuous. Next thing on our list is we've been asked to possibly host the Indian Relay Finals next year. So we've been asked from a few different community people from Kahiwan. They're just checking to see if we're going to ruffle feathers with other groups that possibly want to do it. I said, just let us know. Maybe we have to do a final on its own. We'll see. We'll always pair it up with something else. Other things that we're going to be taking part of this year is the Alberta Ag Society Conference in February. There's usually a couple of us that go every year. We're trying to convince more board members to go every year to attend. There's lots of learnings for all ag societies. Thank you, David Sharoon, for attending with us last year. And in November, we're also going to be hosting Empowering Minds. We've been asked by the Ag Society of Alberta to host it. It's a province-wide mental health initiative. The speaker, Ian Hill, comes in. The Alberta Ag Society pays for the speaker. They've asked us to host it in Bonnyville. And all we do, the first session will be in the morning for community leaders. He comes out and gives his speech, and then he goes into the schools in the afternoon. And in the evening, he does one for the public. So we'll be hosting that November 3rd. So keep an eye out because I will be inviting you guys to attend. The only thing that the Ag Society is responsible for is breakfast and supper. So we will be figuring out how we're gonna put that on. But yeah, everything else is pretty good. We might make a little bit of money, but I know whatever money we make goes right back into it. So.
Sure, thank you. Thanks, Corey. Council, any questions or comments for Society? Councilor McAvoy?
So you're not surprising us saying there's going to come a time when we need to put water and sewer out there.
Yes.
That's something that's been discussed many times over quite a while. I do compliment you on what you're doing out there, and I think you have discussed some future expansion projects out there. Is there anything that's tied to that water and sewer, or is it just general?
In general, we would like permanent water and sewer. I mean, it would make life a lot easier. The cost reductions would be good. But if we want to have a riding arena out there, we're going to need to have water and sewer. It's going to be very hard to do that without having that. And we'd like to build a barn for the 4-H so we could host the annual sale. I think that we're in line to do it again this year. So. If it was up to me, I'd be building campgrounds and everything out there. So.
Councilor Blanchette?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a quick comment for you. So I really like that you're branching out and doing this mental health speaker. I might suggest that that falls in line with the scope of FCSS. So if you are looking for potential funding opportunity there, I would approach FCSS and see if that's an option for you.
Oh, I'll be talking to them tomorrow when I go see them at their 50th anniversary.
We will see you there.
Thank you. Councilor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Let's go back to the camping grounds. That's one thing that is missing in our town, for sure. And when we have organizations, we got no place to put them. And a lot of people like to camp, and soccer terms, anybody, right? Travel Alberta has grants for that. For those kind of things. If you're looking at water and sewer and you include that, that gives us a lot of incentive to do something like that. I know it's lots of work. I know that but I see a good partnership there that would help the town and also help you guys out. So I think that would be something maybe to look at.
Yeah, I have ties with Travel Lakeland, so I'll be discussing that with them. I've already mentioned it to them. How do we do this? I think it's a needed thing in the area, so.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to the Ag Society Board, just want to kudos to you guys for it's all volunteers to the board and all the directors and all the volunteers who made the rodeo, the fall fair, the Indian relay races. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours. Again, all volunteer. So thank you again for that, for making it affordable for our community and something entertaining to do as well. Can you just maybe touch base on the volunteer programs that the Ag Society offers for groups coming in to help with the the rodeo, the fall fair, etc. Can you maybe just elaborate on that so there is opportunities for user groups to come and make some money for their organizations?
Sure. Yeah, we've come to terms with the fact that there's only so many of us. We can only do so many jobs. So we usually put some jobs, set them aside, and we allow those user groups, if someone wants to come in, we will usually give an honorarium to their club for helping out. Usually it's for the gates or for parking, something along those lines. Who did we have this year, Emo?
Can't remember.
Gymnastics club?
Cheer
Premier Cheer, we helped them out.
and the gymnastics.
Gymnastics club. Yeah, so if there's groups out there, if they come to me, yeah, I'll find something that we can help assist. Because if you can help us, I'm sure that we'll give an honorarium to give back.
Even the LaCory helped us.
Yeah, LaCory Ag Society. I've reached out to the Glendon Ag Society. We have a working relationship right now. We've exchanged bleachers, and we've talked with the LaCory Ag Society. We've exchanged volunteers, Stephen, to help them out with their event. They'll come out and help us with ours. All these groups have to start working together, or else some of these groups will not survive. I think everyone knows there's only so many volunteers around. I look around the room and I see people that are in charge of sports teams and other things like that that also need volunteers. They know what it's like.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the Egg Society. I think that's all the questions we have. Now I think we are good to move on to Community Futures.
Next.
And Corey, you're up again.
Oh, Community Futures, we're always busy. I'm happy to see that we're just finishing up our 6 months of the year. And to date, we have exceeded our goals by we've almost doubled the goals set by Prairie's Can for us for the year already. So we're doing pretty good in that respect. The one big program we have with respect to grants is a beautification project. When I started a year and a half ago, we were a little bit behind on the amount of applications that we had. There was quite a few that we could fill. I have filled those, and I know that they're saying there's 3 spots left, but they've already been spoken for already. I'm just waiting to fund them. So we'll have all of them filled right up to date. So that's another program that I'm going to be asking for. Usually we do 5 businesses a year, so we ask for a $2,000 grant plus the cost of the interest for the loan. Right now, interest is lower and lower, so I would think it's about $800 a year for each loan. I put in the budget for $1,000 a year for each loan for the interest. I mean, that takes care of the whole 3 years. When I drive through town, I see businesses that, yeah, you need a facelift. I'll stop in and talk to them. And who's going to deny? Who doesn't want an $8,000 interest-free loan and get $10,000 for it? Like, I think it's a no-brainer, but after we fund the next 3, we'll have done 7 in the last year, or no, 8. So that's pretty good, I think, 7 or 8. So that's pretty good. The next one, we'll be asking for a donation for Lemonade Days of $1,000. I think everybody knows what Lemonade Days is. I go into the schools and I go and do public forums, and it's getting bigger and bigger every year, it seems. I'd had to do 2 public forums in Bonnyville this year and 2 in Coal Lake just to make sure we catch all the people that we could. And I went into the schools in Coal Lake. I did 3 sessions in Coal Lake, and I did some in here in Bonnyville. So it gets bigger and bigger, and the kids love it. We get more stands every year. It just keeps getting bigger, so that's good. The next one I'll be asking for a donation of $2,500 is for the Yeti program. If you know what Smart Start is, it's kind of an offshoot of that, but it's for high school students from the ages of approximately 14 to 19. So people that are in grade 9 to 12, they come and spend 4 afternoons with me, and they learn all about business. We go through finance, we go through marketing, how to sell your stuff, how to set up your business properly. And then you get $500 to go start your business. And then you report back every week. And at the end of the year, we get all our findings and we have a big party with them. And then we will be celebrating one and giving them an award. And then every student that finishes the full summer and does all the reporting, I'll give them another $500 each. So it allows them to get $1,000 for starting a business. We did a soft opening this year. We had 5 people interested. It's tough to get some during the summer. 5 kids applied, and then 2 showed up because the other 3, a couple had to go to summer school, and then one, the parent pulled them out because they were going on holidays. I said, well, it's too bad, but you know, we had one that would walking around town washing windows. So that was good. Yeah, I have another one that's a little mechanic. I can't fix my lawnmower to save my life. 5 minutes, he had that thing running like a top. I was ready to buy a new one. So that's good. And eventually I might be asking for some additional money for the Smart Start. I've got money for this year. But next year we're going to be entering contract negotiations with the Smart Start community. So until I know exactly what it's going to look like, I didn't want to present here. But I wouldn't ask for any more than what I got last year. I think it was $4,000 for the Smart Start. We're going to be getting that program again in October. And I think I have 8 confirmed and another half a dozen that are on the fence. So I'm sure it'll be sold out. Like, we'll be full by the end of October for sure. So we'll have another 12 students, but yeah.
All right, thank you, Corey. Wow, you got
Any-
lots going on over there at Community
questions?
Futures? Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I
I'm
can
sure.
go on. What other groups would you like to
No,
know?
well, let's see. Anybody have any questions?
Any
on
questions
any of the
about Community
programs?
Futures? You
Yeah.
guys all know about Community Futures.
Any questions? Councillor Krishnan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The beautification loan, that fits in perfectly with our downtown revitalization. I think that there's a real fit there that can get, and also our new bylaws as well. If you let them know that their taxes will not go up for 3 years and 75% on the 4th and 50% on the 5th for any new renovations that they do. So that's another thing another selling point for these businesses do that, right? But we have that color palette and the wood and the stone. I think it's a real good fit for what we're doing. So I'm in favor of that. I'm probably in favor of even expanding that, and hopefully we get a lot more businesses downtown buying into our vision of what downtown should look like.
If you want to increase that budget, you go right ahead. I'll sell them all.
Excellent. That's what, yeah. Corey, can you tell us, so the 2,500 for the Yeti project, so what does that go towards? You said it'll allow 2 students. So is it part of that $500 that they get for their business?
I'll probably use part of it, but part of it for me to join that Yeti program, it was created by another Community Futures. I paid $4,000 to share that license.
Okay.
So that's part of it. The assist, and then I have to buy all the books, the teaching materials. You know, if I need to bring another speaker in, I'll pay for that.
Okay.
That's a small drop in the bucket for what it costs usually. But for that, you know, you're going to give 2 students, you know, if I asked for 2,500, I said, it pays for 2 students, that pays for their $2,000 for their award. And then I'll let you guys present the award. That's why I asked for a little extra. We'll get your picture and we'll allow you to do the presentation and be front and center with Community Futures.
Also, you might want to connect with the Hive. They might be able to, because they've got, it's a youth program there, and they might help to generate some interest and send some youth your way as well to fill up that program for you.
Already got the Hive involved.
All right, perfect.
I went and taught youth entrepreneur course this year already.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay, Councillor Johnson?
Thanks for the presentation, Corey. With your Smart Start program, I love that program, how you're mentoring new businesses to be successful, and you have other business owners participating who've been through the program and volunteer to help. Do you still have a good supply of returnees helping mentor?
Councillor Johnson, if you are saying that you would like to help out, I'll take you on.
No, I was just curious if the program's still feeding itself and you have returning business owners helping mentor.
There's returning business owners, but we have a lot of the people that go through the Smart Start program. I have so many people that say, if you ever need help, let me know. So we have some that have been managers in the past. They run their own businesses. They're coming back to be mentors. They know what it's like now after a couple of years of having their business. They know the pitfalls in the first while. They're helping out.
Awesome, thank you.
But if anybody wants to help out, let me know.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. I think, any other questions, comments? No? I think that's all from us tonight. Corey and Emil, thank you both for being here, and thank you for the great presentation on community futures. And we look forward to all the great things you do in our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. We've got another delegation, Keep Lakeland Politics Local. Trevor Shefrick. Hello, welcome. Yeah. As the previous delegation, if you don't mind using the microphone, would appreciate it. The floor is yours, and then we can have an opportunity for questions after.
Perfect, thank
Good.
you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, the Town Council, on behalf of our advocacy group, KLPL, Keeping Lakeland Politics Local, we would like to just start by thanking you as a council for an opportunity to share some of the research that we have been doing. My name is Trevor Shafrick, a member of that group, also resident of the MD of Bonnyville, but our group is comprised of residents from municipalities all through the Lakeland. So again, thanks for hearing us out. And we wanted to share some of our research related to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, which I'm going to refer to as the FCM throughout the remainder of the presentation. As I'm sure most of you are aware, this municipality holds membership with the FCM, which is not only acceptable in our mind, it's intuitive to us that an elected municipal government would participate in an organization that is meant to benefit municipal governments and indirectly their constituents. However, we are concerned that the FCM has departed from its express mandate, and so that's the primary issue that we'd like to talk about today. So I just want to emphasize there's no criticism here of anything in the past. Take this as a caution for the present and potentially the future. This isn't a criticism. So a little bit of background here. So the FCM has existed for over 100 years under a number of names, and it was designed to be a way for municipal governments to bring their concerns to the federal government. I'm sure most of you know that. But as we're surveying the publications of the FCM over the course of time, the FCM itself and also some of its affiliates, our concern is that the FCM has come to operate more predominantly in the opposite direction, as a way for federal and potentially global interests to communicate with municipalities and to potentially impose their agendas on municipal governments rather than the other way around. And if that is the case, that would constitute a circumvention of provincial jurisdiction. And it would also violate the ethos of our Constitution as a federalist nation. And so we want to share those findings with you, and in hopes that you can just make an informed decision going forward on behalf of your constituencies about whether involvement in this FCM is actually in the best interests of the electorate. So no conspiracy, no speculation here. Everything that I'm going to share today is from primary sources, predominantly the FCM website and its publications, and that of its partners as well. One of its primary partnerships is with an international organization known as ICLEI. Are you guys familiar with that acronym, ICLEI? It stands for the International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives. So first thing right off the hop, in the title, we have an international council. Okay, that's not even a national title. So if the FCM's imperative was to liaison between municipal governments and federal government. Why is there one of their primary partners an international lobby group? Okay, so that's a red flag for us right off the hop. It seems to contradict the entire premise for the inception of the FCM. But it gets a little worse than that for us in that this ICLEI group has partnered with the Government of Canada to create a program called the Partners for Climate Protection. They often abbreviate it on the website as PCP. And while we want to say we affirm ventures that promote ecological sustainability, we're all for that. But we object to the notion that a national government has partnered with an international lobby group, ICLEI, to use the FCM to influence you guys, the municipal government. So I want to read you a direct quote from the FCM website under the PCP subpage. It says, quote, "Municipal governments like yours influence or control half the sources of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions. You're also on the front lines of responding to severe weather events and other impacts of climate change. By taking action, you have the opportunity to save money in municipal operations, lower energy costs for residents and businesses, and increase investment in the local economy. The Partners for Climate Protection program from ICLEI, Local Governments for Sustainability, ICLEI Canada, and FCM helps your municipality do its part. It consists of a 5-step milestone framework that guides you as you take action against climate change by reducing emissions in your municipality." End quote. So notice that they've already decided what the problem is. They have the solution, and that they assume that you, by virtue of your membership in the FCM, have an obligation to implement their 5-step program in order to do your part, in their words. The FCM reveals in this quote that they no longer see themselves as your advocate to Canada, rather that they work for the Government of Canada and ICLEI, and they see you as the labor force. So if the PCP has correctly identified both the problems and the solutions for climate change, maybe we'd say, well, what's the big deal, right? Is it not noble to obey a good dictator? But we're uncomfortable with that assumption. First, we simply don't believe that there is an international unilateral consensus in the scientific community about some of the beliefs that ICLEI considers to be facts. The actual scientific papers published by the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that's the IPCC, simply do not say what most mainstream media and these interest groups are claiming that they say. Okay, again, so no speculation, no conspiracy theory here. We're not saying we know better. We're going by the data from the IPCC, which groups like ICLEI are claiming to use. But when you read the actual papers, you notice that anthropogenic carbon dioxide is statistically insignificant compared with a lot of other natural phenomena, chiefly the ocean, which the IPCC acknowledges. So we disagree with their premise. Second, even if their claims were supported even by their own science, which they aren't, we're not comfortable with our local elected representatives being told that because you're members of the FCM, that you can be dictated to by national and even international governments. We elected you because we trust you to make local decisions for us, and we hope that you're not being pressured to conflate global agendas with local ones, hence our title, Keeping Lakeland Politics Local. We can't vote for the United Nations, we can't vote for ICLEI, we can only vote for you, right? So what does this amount to? What are we asking for? Well, we're not demanding that you terminate membership with the FCM. We've made this presentation to a number of municipalities already, and we've heard some pretty cogent arguments for why to be involved. And so we voted for you because we believe that you might have something value to contribute not only to us, but maybe even in the broader arena of municipal governance. So we're not saying you need to get out and this is our ultimatum or something like that. But we are hoping that if you choose to stay, you will at least use your presence and your influence there to protect not only our municipality, but all Canadian municipalities from some global objectives that have been predicated on a distortion of their own science. And if that seems like an outlandish comment, we're happy to expound on that. That's a rabbit hole that we don't have time for tonight. But here's kind of the 4 things we're looking for. number one, we'd ask each of you as members of the FCM to just take 10 minutes to look at the FCM website and just verify that what we're saying is true. We're not making anything up here. Number two, we would ask you to just maybe calculate the total financial cost of that membership. So obviously you pay a sort of a membership fee based on the size of your municipality, I believe. But in addition to that, you also pay to send delegates, right? So there's travel costs, there's a registration cost, and then there's any costs that are associated with the actual initiatives that they're trying to put forward. So we think it would be fair to ask as constituents for you to just total that cost. What is the actual cost to be part of the FCM? And then number three, consider investigating the growing counter perspective on chief causes of climate change. And I know this sounds like a conflict of interest. It always sounds bad when an oil-rich municipality says, climate change, not a big deal, right? It doesn't, the optics aren't good. And I acknowledge that. It looks like we're carrying a bias. I'm saying I don't have an oil company. I'm the pastor of a church. I have no financial dog in this fight except the truth. And I have done a lot of research right down to the IPCC itself. And I'm saying that they are telling us to turn our economies upside down and to put a lot of very, very poor people all over the world under a lot of stress for an initiative about which our change in directive will do nothing. They're not denying the increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide. That's real. They're not denying a minimal increase of temperature. That's real. What they're denying at the IPCC level is that this was caused by us, and that by us slitting our own throats, we're going to do something about it. Okay, so take a look at that. There are a lot of actual signatories on the IPCC documentation, that 2,500-page report that are saying we will sue you if you name drop us again for this initiative, because that's not what the study said. Okay, so we're being fed a line, and it's not actually coming from the scientific community. It was cherry picked, and a lot of scientists are finally coming out of the woodwork and saying, I can't let this happen. Too many Africans are dying because of these ventures that you claim will save the planet and won't. The science doesn't show it. Fourth and finally, we would ask that any of you who are running as incumbents in the upcoming municipal election articulate publicly your position on the primary cause of climate change. Why are we asking that? Well, because what you think about this is going to influence your stance on a lot of other ethical issues. And so when people are looking for who is going to be representing me, it's important for them to know what you think about this, because it's going to affect you ethically, it's going to affect you politically, it's going to affect you economically. And so we recognize everybody's entitled to their personal beliefs about anything and everything. You're allowed to believe what you're allowed to believe, but I think voters have the right to know what some of those beliefs are, at least concerns climate change, before they go to the polls in October. Just one more point of interest. Several rural Alberta counties have already taken these measures. They've done these 4 things. And after their research, it led them to conclude that their best course of action was just to terminate membership with the FCM. So that would include the County of Wheatland, the County of Stettler, and most recently the town of Vermilion River. And these municipalities are quite public about their concerns. And if you'd like to learn more about why they did what they were doing, we would be happy to provide you with their official withdrawal letters. But the bottom line is, we know you, we trust you, and that's why you were elected. But we don't know and trust these national and international players that we believe have commandeered the FCM and caused it to stray from its original mission. So we would ask you to either sever those ties, or at the very least, commit yourself to bringing the FCM back to its roots. And so when we presented this to the County of St. Paul and the MD of Bonnyville, that was basically what they said. They said, you know, we want to have a voice in the conversation. We want to have a foot in the door. If you boycott everything that you're concerned about, you lose all of your advantage. And so I can see that there's a case for staying. But our caution would be, go in with your eyes open, because there are players at work here that we think are working on you instead of for you. I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Excellent. Sorry, thank you very much. I will open it up to council. Do we have any questions, council? Oh, doesn't. Okay. Yes, you spoke very well. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Thank you very much for your time and presenting this to council, and certainly take some of your, what you're asking here into consideration. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your time. Okay, council. We are now moving on to bylaw number 160425, the 2026 residential assessment subclass bylaw.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is bylaw number 1604-25, the 2026 residential assessment subclass bylaw. This bylaw has been prepared pursuant to section 297(2) of the Municipal Government Act. The rationale behind creating a residential subclass for multifamily properties is based on the change in assessments for these properties year over year as the economy changes. Multifamily assessments are based on the income approach valuation, with the economy in the Lakeland area changing frequently in the last few years. The income resulting assessments for these properties moves up and down significantly, resulting in large tax dollar changes if no mill rate adjustment is made. By creating a residential subclass for multifamily properties, council has the option of adjusting the mill rate to lessen these changes. If passed, bylaw number 1604-25 will divide the residential assessment class into single-family residential subclass and a multifamily residential subclass. A bylaw creating subclasses is required to be passed before February 28th in the year it is to take effect. Administration is recommending that council provide all three readings to bylaw number 1604-25.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for administration? All right, we are looking for all three readings this evening, if we agree. Councillor Langridge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will go ahead and provide first reading for bylaw number 1604-25.
All in favor? Carried. Motion for second reading, please. Councillor Blanchette.
I will move second reading to the same bylaw.
All in favor? Carried. Motion to move into third and final reading. Councillor Johnson.
I'll make the motion to proceed to the third reading for bylaw 1604-25.
All in favor? Carried. And motion for third and final reading. Councillor Schroen.
I'll move the third and final reading.
All in favor? Carried. All right, next bylaw to repeal council code of conduct bylaw. Who wants to speak on this?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will give you some updates here. So basically, the bylaw number 1605-25, a bylaw repeal bylaw number 1474-18, Council Code of Conduct bylaw. As of May of 2025 this year, it was required from the legislation to remove the Code of Conduct from the council chambers until Minister of Municipal Affairs made a final decision. In that time, there was a transition from one minister to a new minister. And as part of the agenda package tonight, I provided everyone with the mandate letter to the Minister of Municipal Affairs from Premier Smith yesterday, outlining that there will be a new council code of conduct with the inclusion of senior staff support that will come out as a provincial legislative level, not a municipal level. So what we're looking for today would be to repeal the bylaw that's currently sitting with the town, and we would wait then legislative code of conduct to be brought in by the provincial government at a later date.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for administration? It's being asked. Councillor McAvoy?
So this code of conduct bylaw currently is in effect for council. Is it still in effect, or was it suspended when they made the decision to replace it with the provincial?
So from my understanding, sorry, Madam Mayor, through to Councillor, the understanding was that it was not suspended. It was up to the municipality to do so. The municipality itself at the time was going through the procedural bylaw changes. So under the procedural bylaw changes, there was provisions of the code of conduct pieces that were removed out of that, and then this would be the last step, would be to get into compliance with the requirements of the provincial government, is to now repeal the code of conduct bylaw in its entirety from the municipality.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for administration? No, seeing none. Okay, we are also looking for all three readings to move this bylaw. Counselor Krishner.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'll introduce and give first reading to bylaw 1605-25, a bylaw to repeal bylaw number 1474-48, council code of conduct bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Motion for second reading, please. Counselor McAvoy.
I will move second reading to remove bylaw or bylaw 1605-25 to repeal bylaw 1474-18.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Motion to move into third reading, please. Counselor Langridge.
I will motion to move into third and final reading.
All in favor? Carried. And a motion for third and final reading. Counselor Johnson.
I'll provide third and final reading for bylaw number 1605-25, a bylaw to repeal bylaw number 1474-18.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, moving on, financial report for August 2025.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is the monthly financial report up to August 2025. The report consists of the bank reconciliation statement, the operating budget financial report, the capital budget financial report, and the capital project listing to date. We are recommending that council accept the August 2025 financial report as presented.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for administration? Seeing none. Councillor Schroen.
I move that council accept the August 2025 financial report as presented.
You all in favor? That's carried. Okay, next, new business, cancellation of the October 21st Governance and Priorities Committee meeting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a recommendation from the CAO to council. That would be the day after the elections, and at that time, most elected officials won't be sworn in yet. And then the other discussion that we had at administration level would be that staff are going to be pretty tired after counting those ballots that night. So if it would be okay with council, we would request that that meeting be canceled for the next month.
Okay. Any questions on that? Curious now. Looking for a motion. Councillor Blanchett.
I will move the staff recommendation that council cancel the October 21st Governance and Priorities Committee meeting.
All in favor? That's carried. Okay, next we have a request for a letter of support from the MD of Bonnyville.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the request from the MD was for the RFI. So basically, an investor exploring a potential locations for large-scale data center and center campus. The creation of approximately 120 full-time jobs upon completion, up to 500 construction jobs during the development phase. Estimated construction start would be Q3 of 2026, with the operation targets of Q1 2028. So right now, what they're requesting is a letter of support to basically be considered a site selector for this business to come look at the location to see if there is any opportunity for them to attract this business to the community. And at this time, the request be for a letter of support stating that we would be in favor as a municipality.
Okay, any questions? CAO, Winfrey, did you have a question? Go ahead, Councillor Langridge, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration, so when this request came in, the request was basically a letter of support for the MDs, what they were looking to apply and show interest for this Invest Alberta, and they were just looking for their neighbors' letter of support, correct?
Correct, yeah. So part of the application process is to showcase that there is intermunicipal collaboration in this, and the aspect that if the MD went forward with a project of this nature and this size, that the town of Bonnyville would be welcoming that kind of development growth. So it's more of a partnership to make sure that Invest Alberta looks at the opportunities as the municipalities are working together, and they want to work together to attract those types of industries and businesses.
Okay, and I guess more of a comment from my point of view is You know, I know we work diligently in the town for economic development initiatives. So I would, you know, like to see us support the MD of Bonnyville in their pursuit. As we know, we service a lot of the citizens of the MD of Bonnyville for all their services. So working together is always the best approach on this, and along this with the multiple other projects that we can work together with them on. So I would like to see us support. And if there's, after the other questions, I would make a motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Any other questions? I do have a question. So, and maybe I missed it because I was reading through this, but so the recommendation from administration is to ratify the letter of support, and it's dated September 15th.
So sorry, Madam Mayor, we had preemptively provided them with the letter, but it hasn't been actually given to them yet. So the letter's just sitting there. We are going to supply them with the letter tomorrow. So the date will be changed, and we'll give them a letter for September 24th.
Okay, okay, I was really confused about that. Okay, so
Originally we had thought that it had to be in last Friday, but it's actually this Friday that it's due.
26, yeah. Okay, all right, so the motion is to approve a letter of support.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just also add to the conversation, the town of Bonnyville itself has also submitted an application to this site selector as well. And the MD did provide us with a letter of support for that as well. So we're in conjunction working with them to apply for the same site selector. But our hope is that by showing that collaboration and showing that we're both interested and both willing to work together, we become more attractive for those types of industries. So there's no guarantee that we would even get this at this time. It's just more throwing our name in the hat and saying, please come see us and let's have a conversation to build here.
We're open for business. Councilor Langridge, you're ready for a motion?
Yeah, if everyone is all right, then I'll make the motion that council provide a letter of support and approve the letter of support to be submitted to Invest Alberta, endorsing the MD of Bonnyville's response to the request for information for the establishment of a state-of-the-art data center campus.
Thank you. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, moving on to committee reports. We will start with Councilor Johnson, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. September 11th, I attended the informal supper we had with MD Council. September 16th, Governance and Priorities Committee meeting. September 17th, Special Council meeting. September 18th, the other Special Council meeting. And last night we had a C2 meeting as well. And I want to remind everybody it's the Scott McDonald Memorial Football Day this weekend. So if you're around Saturday, 1, 4, and 7 o'clock are the kickoff times. And all the money goes to cancer initiatives that are kept here locally by the football teams.
Okay, on September 11th, attended the informal meeting with the Municipal District of Bonnyville. On the 13th, I was fortunate enough to attend the retirement party for former Staff Sergeant Sarah Park. On the 16th, the G&P meeting, followed by, on the 17th, I was luckily enough to be selected as a judge for the Lakeland FASD's Mocktail Challenge. There were some pretty interesting drinks to be tried out there, and so kudos to all the 9 teams that jumped in to compete in that. And then a special council meeting after that on the 17th. The 18th, I had an Alberta Winter Games meeting. And last night, a C2 meeting. That is all for me.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On the 10th and 11th, we had our Alberta Care meetings, just to let everyone know that the curbside should be all implemented by October of 2026. That they were saying in the spring, so it's kind of been delayed. On the 11th, there was the informal supper meeting with the MD of Bonnyville. On the 12th, we had a Northern Lights meeting, but we couldn't have a meeting, because we didn't have quorum. That same day, I attended Sarah Park's retirement party. Governance and priority meetings on the 16th, Lakeland Center for FASD mocktail that same day, and a special council meeting the next day. Lakeland Lodge and Housing Foundation, Bonnie Lodge there are 0 vacancies with 21 on a waiting list. Coal Lake Lodge, there's 2 vacancies with 4 on the waiting list. So those rooms are just getting prepared for the new tenants. On the 17th, we also attended with some fellow councilors the grand opening of Ariane Skin and Beauty. On the 18th, special Town of Bonnyville Special Council meeting. On the 19th, the Alberta Mid-Size Mayor's Caucus virtual. On the 20th, the 4-wing Battle of Britain ceremony. And last night, the 22nd, was the regular Ag Society meeting.
Okay, thank you. For myself, started September 13th, attended the grand entry for the Kihiwin Powwow. And then that evening attended Sarah Park's retirement. On the 15th, I also attended another grand entry for the Kihiwin Powwow. September 16th to the 17th, we had our special council meetings, including the FASD mocktail event in the parking lot. On the 18th, interestingly enough, I attended a luncheon with the FCM Executive Board, which was a really good opportunity to speak with the executive about some of the local things here in Alberta, some of the issues or things that, we could bring to the table to the next conference. So all in all, it was a really good luncheon. September 20th, attended the grand opening of the Cherry Grove Fire Station. On the 21st, attended the 4-wing Battle of Britain ceremony. 22nd, had the C2 board meeting. And then today, CAO Wimpfley and I actually attended a tour of the old RCMP building. We went with Tribal Chiefs Employment Ventures. They're very interested to see if something could be done with that building. So we'll see where it lands, but it was quite interesting going in there and having a tour. And that's all for me now. Thanks.
Okay, September 11th, the intermunicipal dinner with our partners from the MD. September 12th, I had a virtual FCSS AA board meeting. September 13th, a retirement celebration for Staff Sergeant Sarah Park. Thank you to her for her service. September 15th, SPCA board meeting. September 16th, meeting with the FCSS Association Executive Director, followed by our Governance and Priorities Committee meeting. September 17th, the Mocktail Challenge hosted by Lakeland Center for FASD. And I just wanted to note that that event was actually funded by an FCSS grant. So, and then the special council meeting for budget delegations following that, as well as September 18th. That's all for me.
Okay, for myself, I also attended the informal intermunicipal meeting and dinner with the MD of Bonnyville. On the 13th, I attended the St. Paul Fire Department's 80th anniversary gala, which was well attended by representatives from the community, from the provincial, federal governments, as well as the Senate. On the 17th, I attended the FASD mocktail event, which is always interesting to chat with the people preparing them. And I'm amazed Councillor Langridge didn't go into a sugar high. The special council meeting, and along with Councillor Sharoon and Kushner, attended the Skin and Beauty ribbon cutting ceremony, and it's a beautiful facility, and I'm looking forward to seeing it grow in the community. And then the Lakeland Lodge and Housing meeting in Coal Lake with Councillor Sharoon. On the 18th, I attended the Bonnyville Regional Fire Authority regular meeting, and we are just now diving deep into budgets and have set budget meetings in the upcoming month to prepare budgets that will be going to the municipalities for funding. And I attended the special council meeting as well on the 18th. On the 20th, I attended the grand opening of the Bonnyville Regional Fire Authority Station 10 in Cherry Grove. And in addition to the fire station there, that building also houses a grader shops, and it also houses the community peace office, or a detachment of the community peace officers for the MD of Bonnyville, which is good to see them out and about. It makes their job a little easier, maintaining an overwatch on the whole region. On the 21st, I attended the Battle of Britain parade put on by Four Wing in Coal Lake. It was very enjoyable, including watching Madam Mayor discover what a jet sounds like at 500 feet. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, September 11th, meeting with the MD. I thought that was a great meeting. I'm looking forward to doing that more and more with this group moving forward. September 13th, Staff Sergeant Sarah Park's retirement. Had the privilege of going to that. September 16th, Governance Priorities meeting. The 17th, LICA regularly scheduled meeting. Also the FASD, and then the Special Council meeting. And then we went to Ariane's and did a ribbon cutting. So that was a busy day. 18th, BRFA, 18th as well, Special Council meeting. The 19th, myself and CAO Winfley went to Alberta Hub. And they've got some really good things that they're trying to get passed. One of them is a railroad that's going to go all the way up to Churchill. And so that's going to go through, there's a few different routes that might be taken. And right now we're not on that route. It might go up above us, it might go to Lac La Biche, because there's already rail to Lac La Biche, and then over to Coal Lake, and then all the way through. This is an Indigenous-led group called PISM, which basically means sun. And they're trying to take this through. Our wonderful CAO went up to them and said, well, there's another group that has rail that's going forward as well, and he put the two together. So I think it's great. They might work together and move forward with this. Second thing that they were doing is they're doing this Wednesday a drone from Andrew all the way to St. Paul. They've got routes marked out. It's at least 400 meters away from any farm, any building that can hear it. So, and they're just testing the concept of it to move freight, to move different things. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. So some exciting things there. And there's going to be some changes with the Alberta Hub structure, and we'll see how that goes. On the 20th, I went to the Cherry Grove, thank you. Cherry Grove Fire Department grand opening. And then also went to the Battle of Britain on the 21st, and that's all I have.
All right, excellent. Thanks. Everybody's been very busy the last couple of weeks. Moving on, we've got a couple proclamations. In Alberta, it is estimated that over 9,000 individuals are affected by cerebral palsy. There is more than one diagnosis for every 500 children born in Alberta, and the number of cases per year has increased by 25% over the past decade. We now do hereby proclaim October 6th as World Cerebral Palsy Day in the town of Bonnyville. Next, the Bonnyville Municipal Library and other public libraries and school libraries add immensely to the culture, creativity, and growth of citizens by promoting and supporting lifelong learning, by helping people to access information and tools they need to live, learn, and work. And we now, therefore, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Canadian Library Month in the town of Bonnyville. Next, questions. Any questions for administration? No? Okay, we've got a couple items in camera. If I can get a motion to move into camera, please. Councillor Kuchar.
I'll give you the motion to go in camera.
All in favor?